A goal you have not yet achieved. Imagine you have already achieved it, and you will succeed. Focusing requires 20 brain vibrations. Remember that the brain vibrates, pulses, emanates, just as the heart beats. The heart per minute, the brain per second. Vision. Focusing vision requires the brain to work at 20 vibrations per second. And the gateway to the alpha state, or the connection with the right hemisphere to work with the right emitter, is at 10. So you cannot be in both places at the same time. It's like saying when you are seeing directly, all the other senses receive information, perceive indirectly. When you are listening, vision is indirect, and all the others are also indirect. Only one sense at a time can be directly connected to your consciousness. You cannot be in two places at the same time, because they are on different frequencies. Vision is the highest frequency, hearing from 20 to 20,000 cycles, anyway, much lower, and touch lower still. That means there is a dimension for each sense. So it means that a person who sees gray or sees, let's say, black or whatever, is because they are trying to see with closed eyes, and all they are detecting is what appears behind, let's say, the eyelids. With eyes closed eyelids, gray or black appears. That means they are trying to see. We don't want them to see in that dimension because when trying to see, when wanting to use this part of the head where the eyes are, the brain prepares to focus and takes you out of 10, out of your dimension where all these things are possible, that is, where more problems are solved because more information is received to solve problems. At 10, using the right hemisphere, the intangible, the invisible, instead of the left. And when you try to see, you immediately leave 10 and go to 20.
Then what we are trying to achieve does not happen. That happens at 10. So it means, do not try to focus, that is, forget you have eyelids, forget you have eyes. Remember what you have already seen. How are you going to practice visualization? Look at something, a scene, an object, a person, and with your eyes closed, describe it mentally or verbally in all details and all colors. Remember if it is a red apple. Well, you are not going to see it gray. How did you remember it? You remembered it red, so describe it in red with the shape it has. Anyway, any object, any scene, any person, describe it with your eyes closed after having seen it, with eyes closed in all details and all colors. When a person is talking to you, or when you are reading a newspaper or a book, upon encountering some word that can be converted into a portrait, an image, of something you have already seen, then describe it. For example, if you are listening to a person who talks about a house, a tree, a cat, a dog, a horse, remember a house you have already seen. Remember a horse you have already seen, a dog you have already seen. You are remembering what you have already seen in all details and all colors. Then, that means you are practicing visualization. To practice imagination is something else. When you are listening to a person speak or reading a newspaper, a book, in the same way, upon encountering a word that reminds you of something you have already seen, a house, for example, a horse, a dog, a cat, immediately create a house you have never seen. Change its color, add another door. Anyway, modify that image. Imagination is altered when you, or rather, you practice it when altering the image you saw. You are imagining. Imagining is detecting what you have not seen, altering a condition that does not exist. That is imagining. When you detect what you have already seen, you are visualizing.
When you are recalling what you have already detected, you are visualizing. When you are creating for the first time something that does not exist, it is imagining. So you can practice just by modifying the images you have already seen. That way, you are already using imagination, and in this way can develop these faculties. When a person comes and tells you a story and says, imagine what happened here and there, we still have this tendency to want to function as we used to with imagination. That faculty has atrophied. So it means go back to remembering it, reviving it. When a person tells you, imagine what happened here and there, go to your level and try with your mind to see what they are telling you, and you will imagine correctly what that person saw. You are imagining. Imagining is detecting what you have not seen, altering a condition that does not exist. That is imagining. When you detect what you have already seen, you are visualizing. When you are recalling what you have already detected, you are visualizing. When you are creating for the first time something that does not exist, it is imagining. So you can practice just by modifying the images you have already seen. That way, you are already using imagination, and in this way can develop these faculties. Or one is imagining when, for example, if they have never been, let's say, to Las Vegas, but have always wanted to go, and they imagine what Las Vegas is like. Even if it is not like that, they are imagining. They are using imagination because they are trying to see something they have not seen, and will create some buildings anyway, as they think it is, even if it is not. That is imagining. Once the faculty is developed with practice, once in alpha at 10 cycles, the person can imagine detecting the condition of another person, and the condition is truly that one. They will get it right through their imagination, the condition of a person they have never seen at a distance without needing to speak with them. Goals, for example, in other words, a goal you have not yet achieved, imagine it already having been achieved, and you will achieve it. That is to say, you must put the final point in the mental world. Remember that everything that will happen in the physical world must first happen, take place, in the world of the mind. Put the final point. Do not put ellipses. Do not leave it pending, because you'll never achieve it. If you seek triumph, imagine yourself having already triumphed, already in the sense of past tense, so that it may happen in the physical world. If you do not do so, it will never happen. Everything that materialized first took place, appeared in the mental world. Otherwise, it would not have materialized. One more thing, a piece of advice. When you are functioning from the left hemisphere, time as we know it, the past is behind us, the present is where you are, and the future is in front of you. But when your consciousness, your soul, spirit, human intelligence is focusing the mind, that faculty, and functioning from the right hemisphere, then it is different. Then you are functioning in the spiritual, mental world, the intangible. The past is to the right, the present is in front of you, and the future is to the left. So if you want to achieve a goal in the future, imagine it already achieved and place it to the left of where you are here to your left. Then you fix the goal, already having achieved triumph, feel the triumph of already having conquered it. Then let it happen in the physical world, just as it has already happened in the mental world.